Welcome back, painting friends. Whenever it is snowy outside, I like to paint a critter with cocoa. So we are going to paint critters with cocoa today. Here's the colors you're going to need. White, purple, black, pink, yellow, red, and brown. I like to keep my favorite four brushes on my table. I've got my 1-inch flat brush, my 10-6, and one round brush. Don't forget to have a cup of water and a rag for keeping your brushes clean. And let's get started on this kitty cat with cocoa. I'm going to start off by making a bunch of straight white lines with my 1-inch flat brush. So just a bunch of straight white lines on the background. And then I'm going to paint my background in purple. If you want yours darker purple, you just use less white. If you want it lighter purple, use more white. So after you have that white on there, I'm going to take some purple and drop that in. Just kind of brush these colors in until you have a mix where you like it. We'll then let our background dry, and when we come back, we will add in that cute little cat drinking cocoa. Okay, with my background dry, I'm going to grab my number 10 round brush and some black paint. I am making a black and white cat. You can make your cat any color you want, but I would like a black and white cat. So my cat's head, okay, I'm going to make the top kind of flat. Okay, so just like a straight black line on the top. And then from there, I'm going to just make like a fishbowl, okay? So just a big rounded shape right here. And then little ears are going to start a little ways on top of that flat part and then go straight down. Same thing over here, so up and straight down. Now my cat's going to kind of have their body going off to this general area. So with some black paint just right here in the middle of that curve, I'm going to just kind of take that and curve it down towards this back end of my canvas. And then over here, it's going to be more of a straight down, but then I'm going to make a small little line for his little kitty hand. All right, the areas of my face that are not going to be painted black are going to be the nose area. So right here, I'm going to make just like 2 curved lines in, and they are going to kind of come up between the eyes, almost like a science funnel. You see that? And then straight down from there, I'm going to have it go right here along this black edge, even popping out right there. And I'm going to start here and kind of pop it out this way too. So all of this will be black. All of this will be black. And I think on the ears, I'm just going to make this a thicker line. So I do want to paint the inside of the ears pink. So how about we just fatten that line right there up, and then we'll leave that center open for the pink. All right, so paint all those spaces in black, and then let's move on to the white. Okay, with a dry background, I'm going to take that number 10 round brush and I'm just going to paint in the white part of his face and belly. Then without washing that brush off, I'm going to grab some pink paint. And I'm just going to paint this area up here in with that pink and that dirty white brush. And then let's talk about our cat eye. So I'm going to take my finger with a lot of white paint on it, and I am going to make 2 big circles. I like to use my finger to paint circles. I just think it turns out a little bit neater. From there, I'm going to switch to my number 6 round brush. And I'm going to turn these into cat eyes. So to do that, I'm going to make a little triangle kind of pointing down on one side, and then I'm going to make it up a little bit higher on this side. The same thing, a little bit higher over here, a little bit lower over here. Cute little kitty. All right, let's go ahead and lay out where our cup of cocoa is going to go. It's going to go right down here in front of the cat's belly. I'm going to make my cocoa a pink cup with a red heart. So number 6 round brush, pink cup. I'm just going to go right here in front of her belly, and I'm going to make a nice big oval shape. From there, I'm going to have that oval shape kind of come down a little bit and then out. It's going to go down and then flare out. And it's going to be all the way down at the bottom of the page. Keeping my brush a little bit dirty, I'm going to grab some white paint, and right here along this edge, I'm just going to kind of brighten that edge up a little bit with some white, a little white highlight, kind of pull that across. Now I'm going to wipe that brush off and grab that dark pink paint, and I'm just going to make a little bit of a dark area over here, kind of coming around that cup, and then maybe even putting a little bit more dark pink paint on this side over here. I can go ahead and paint in my hot cocoa color right up here. A little bit of brown paint on my number 6 round brush. I definitely forgot to add a handle, so I'm going to grab some pink paint, and right here on the side, I'm just going to make a little curved line up and back down. Showing where the handle of my cup is. Now, while these areas dry, we can go ahead and add some snow in our sky. Again, I always like to paint my cocos with Critter anytime it's snowing, and well, it's snowing outside today. So I can use the back of my brush to add just some polka dots. Or I can use my number 6 round brush with a little bit of white paint, and I can make like some X's and a little plus sign in the middle. And then I can add anything from like little triangles to these edges to little polka dots. It's totally up to you. But I am going to add a bunch of different snowflakes, and then we'll be ready to add his cute little details. Okay, so now that everything is dry, I'm going to start to add in some details. First of all, I'm going to add the yellow for my cat's eyes because I want that to have some time to dry. And then moving from the top down, I'm going to start up here at the top with his ears. And I'm going to grab a little bit of watered down black paint. And I'm going to, first of all, clean up some of these ear areas. As I'm getting ready to work on these, I see that there's a little bit of mess going on. And I'm going to take this black paint and just kind of paint a couple of lines up into the ear. So it looks like there's some hair kind of growing up into those spaces. Then right here above his little nose, I'm just going to add a couple of little hairlines that kind of pop up, maybe off onto his black fur just a little bit. Right here between the nose and the eyes, I'm just going to do a couple of lines up. Cats have this really interesting hair right there. There we go. And then coming down onto his nose, I want his nose to be a really light pink color. So I'm going to take that really aggressive pink that I have and add some white to it. Lighten it up a little bit. And this is really just going to be a triangle. So I'm going to start with like a short curved line. And then it's going to go down into a pointy triangle. Grab some more of that watered down black paint on my number 6 round brush. And I'm going to just take a straight line down and a curve up. Now you have to decide if you want your cat to have black or white whiskers. I'm going to go white whiskers. So I'm just going to take some lines of whiskers out. Again, this is with my number 6 round brush, and I'm barely letting that brush touch the canvas. Just the very tip of the bristles are touching. And then going down here on his chest, I'm going to add a little bit of black and white together to make some gray. And I'm just going to make a couple of little lines coming from right here, kind of down onto his belly. And as I move down, I might add some more white to it to dilute it a little bit. All right, let's go down here towards this cup. We're going to add a highlight on the top of the cup right back here. And right along here. I'm going to add a small highlight on the hook of the handle. I'm going to grab a little bit of black paint and just make a black line that goes just right along that bottom edge. I could take my finger with some white paint on it and put a couple of little marshmallows in here. And I always put a heart on my Critters with Coco cup, so I'm going to grab some of that red paint and add a nice big heart. Now, I know that on mine, I can't see the bottom of my cup, which is okay, but I want to make sure that that heart kind of goes off the bottom also. Wipe that brush off, grab a little bit of white, and just add a fun little white highlight on here. And then I'm going to let my eyes dry a little bit, and then we're going to zoom in and finish those cat eyes out. I'm a firm believer that eyes tell the whole story, so let's see if we can get these guys right. Number 6 round brush and some black paint. I am going to make a long, skinny line that goes down from the top with black paint. Then a little bit of white paint, I'm talking just a little bit on the very tip of the brush, okay? I'm just going to outline the eyes just a little bit, kind of opposite sides. Okay, so like this bottom corner and then the opposite top corner. And I'm going to go ahead and take the back of my brush and put a big white dot. And then right next to that will be a slightly smaller dot. Okay, let's zoom out and add all of our final details. As I'm looking at this for final details, I think I need to edit how I made his ears. I think I'm going to make these ears come down a little bit more rounded at the side instead of so pointy. So I'm going at the top and I'm just kind of adding a little bump on them to kind of connect them down a little bit lower. Yep, I already like that a lot more. That's how it works. I always change things. All right, so I have my number 6 round brush. I'm going to grab some watered down white paint. So I'm just adding a little bit of water to my white paint. And then I'm going to go right here and I'm just going to add some steam that kind of comes up onto like my little kitty cat. Some steam from the hot cocoa. I'm going to take a little bit of black paint and go right here along the back of him and just add a couple of little lines of fur. Both sides, just a little bit. Maybe even right here on his head coming down. And then all around his ears as well. Little white highlight on the tip of his nose. And I think he's where I want him to be. So when you're finished, you're going to pick a color that's going to show up on your canvas and sign your name. Remember, I never get to see what you're painting at home unless you post it to my Facebook page, Painting with a Purpose. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, so you're kept up to date on all of my tutorials. And remember, as always, stay kind, stay creative, and stay safe. Have a great day, friends. Bye now.